Hello, good evening, and welcome to Front Row Racing on this Thursday evening. Hopefully the YouTube issues we've just been having are now over and done with. We can hope. We will wait and see as the night goes on. So apologies for coming online a little later if you've seen the show come live and end a few times. Apologies for that, but it is down to YouTube. Perhaps deciding whether we should have rain for tonight's race in the World Series. I do know that both TempFear and Arazor21, my co-commentators, want it to be wet for tonight's race. So Arazor21, are you wanting it wet for sure? Do you definitely want to see it drizzling out there tonight?
Yes, this is the one of the tracks that is best in wet conditions, I think, because yes, it's funny to watch when drivers are struggling going around this track in wet conditions, but then if there is only 4 that finish the race, that's not so nice. So I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I mean, it's not the easiest of circuits. Singapore, which is the location for round 15 of the Front Row Racing World Series. 5.0 kilometres in length, 22, 23 corners, depending on how you count them. And a track where we've seen wet weather in the past, and it has a massive effect. Anyway, TempFear is going to be joining us on commentary. He's just filling his face at the moment. So I'm going to run through the teams and drivers, and then we'll send the drivers over to the track. So it's going to be about a minute before we actually send the drivers over to the circuit. So, teams and drivers. Hindle, Konzo. They are paired up once again in the petrol pumpers Mercedes, and they're fighting it out in the driver's standings for the championship. In the old crash test dummies Ferrari, we've got Dave the Harp, but Jason's not here this week, so Caribbean Crush is in as a reserve. We know he's capable of good things. In the censored Williams, we've got Kane Iander and Garfield, his new teammate, in his second race. And in the New Age Outlaws Red Bull, we've got Rickster. However, no MX Everglow today and no reserve arranged either. In the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India, we've got Farthber and RDB. We'll get on to their interesting pre-race comments a little later on. In the Wrong Tyres Renault, we've got Valdemar and SBL Mali Kekech. And then in the $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso, we've got Millstar and Ant69. In the Mental Age of 10 McLaren, we've got Front Row Racing GP and Calzo. And in the Yank and Limey Manor, once again, there's no Yank, but we do have, I believe, a Limey and a Scott. Lefty Hardtail being the Limey and Yuzi 1985 being the Scott. Yuzi was due to be the admin's pick rookie driver, although it was requested if he could be the standby reserve for Mystic Joker, who wasn't at the last event and appears to not be at this event either. So it looks like Lefty Hardtail may be in a situation of trying out a few reserve drivers to replace Mystic Joker in that Manor Racing team, and one of the reasons for that is the Manor Racing team are actually in a good position in the driver standings and they want to keep it that way as well. Okay, we'll send the drivers over to the racetrack, and like I said, TempFear will be joining us soon once he's finished his dinner. So as we send the drivers over to the racetrack, I'll try and get through the last race results from round 14 in Italy, where Konzo took full advantage of his teammate getting disconnected. Konzo taking the win and the 25 points. Calzo finished in second place with Front Row Racing GP rounding out the podium. Rickster finished in fourth, while Kane Iander finished fifth. Farthber sixth. In seventh place we had Millstar, then Dave the Harp and his teammate Jason in 8th and 9th, and then Garfield on his first permanent race took the final points position in Monza. Ant69 finished in 11th, with Lefty Hardtail losing a lot of positions due to punctures, down to 12th place. RDB finished in 13th, while the admin's pick rookie driver on the day finished in 14th. Hindle MX Everglow didn't finish, SBL Mali Kekech was disqualified, and Valdemar and Mystic Joker did not start. In the Drivers' Championship standings, that means that Hindle and Konzo are quite close together in the standings again. Hindle leading the way on 205 points, with Konzo on 192. Mystic Joker is still sitting in third place, but it looks like he may be dropping off the standings, which if that's the case would promote Front Row Racing GP up into third. But at the moment, Front Row Racing GP sitting in fourth. Mystic Joker 138 points, GP on 97. He's in a battle with Lefty Hardtail, who's fifth on 94 points, while there's another battle going on between Rickster in sixth and Jason in seventh on 69 points and 68 points. The FRR Admins Pick rookie car is in eighth place on 39 points, while Ant69 is not too far behind in ninth on 35 points. Farfba, he rounds out the top 10 on 31 points, and Dave the Harp's right behind him on 28 points, and Millstar's joining him on 28 points and joining him in 11th place. RDB, he's 13th on 23 points, while Calzo and Kane Ianda both have 18 points each, and their share in 14th place. SBL Mali Kekech, he's in 16th on 9 points, while Valdemar is 17th on 6 points. Garfield is on 1 point, while MX Everglow is on 0. Onto the constructors' standings, and petrol pumpers aren't too far away from taking the title, to be honest. They're leading the way on 422 points, while Yank and Limey Manor are on 232. Mental Age of 10 McLaren, they're in third place on 180 points, while Censored Williams are fourth on 151. The Old Crash Test Dummies Ferrari are on 106 points in fifth, while the Wrong Tyres Renault team are on 93 points. In seventh place is the New Age Outlaws Red Bull on 70, and then the $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso on 63 points. Hey Ho Double Toe Force India on 45, while the FRR rookie Marabobo Haas has 39 points and is in 10th place, and the drivers are out there on the circuit, SBL Mali Kekech being one of them. And you may have spotted us showing the weather there that we've got no rain, unfortunately, guys. And TempFear's here. Hello everybody. Hello TempFear.
I'm disappointed. I need rain.
Yep, you're not the only one that's disappointed. I just want to check, TempFear. Did I get your pre-race comments from yesterday's World Championship race in the right kind of tone for you?
I didn't actually hear you say them. No, I wouldn't say you got it in the right tone. I can understand looking at it though why you would think that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, to be fair though, you had a good race yesterday. Qualifying, we won't even go there. The race though, you've done really well. You've done really well. Now the tyres.
That's what people I watch out for. People like from racing GP, you normally start at the back. Not easy to overtake here. You have to consider it.
It's not, but it is one of those tracks where if you get your strategy right, anything could happen. Talking strategy, the tyres available are the ultra soft tyre, which are the purples, the super soft tyre, which is the red, and the soft compound tyre, which is the yellow. And these red and yellow tyres, they're mandatory. You've got to use at least one of those in a dry race. And the ultra soft tyre is a tyre, I don't know, we may see people qualify on it, we may not. Looking at what Simo did yesterday, I think people might go his way. Regarding tyre types, we've got 10 drivers confirmed that are bringing a balanced set of tyres, so that's not lots of the softest and not lots of the hardest either. With 5 drivers keeping it a bit of a secret of what tyres they're bringing to the racetrack. Okay, guys, who should we watch? Who should we keep an eye on in this qualifying session today?
Well, the two Renaults are normally not too bad, saying that. So they're not a bad one to watch. I'm just noticing from other pits, but I think the Razor is going to be want to watch Jason.
But he's not racing, so we are not.
Eraser, we could have wound him up all night long with that one because he didn't know that Jason wasn't racing.
I don't know.
He's not he's not that stupid. He would have figured it out, but but yeah, But I think this racetrack would have suited Jason because he's a racer who doesn't clip the walls, and yeah, but I don't actually know. This is an interesting track.
It is,
and if you have the pace that doesn't win you the race because you have to avoid the barriers all night long.
Yep. Well, I'm on board with Rickster at the moment. He's on the super soft tyre, the red mark tyre. Just quickly mention his pre-race comments as he gets ready to go around turn 5 and onto the Raffles Boulevard. So Rickster, I said to him, another track for you that has good and bad memories. What would you class as a good memory by the end of the race today? For anyone that doesn't remember, when Konzo mentioned last time out that he overtook somebody on the last lap of the race here, it was Rickster he overtook. So Rickster said, I've had some very high finishing positions here in the past. It's one I like, along with Monaco, but also it's one I've had bad luck at. Again, like Monaco. A good memory today will be bringing the car home in the top 5 again. Finishing 4th last time out was good for me, but it did make me hungrier for the podium this season. With the right look and speed, tonight a top 3 is possible. So unfortunately we've just cursed him, but Rickster's definitely one to keep an eye on. He's done a sector 1 time of a 29.0, which may need to be in the 28s, and a 38.8 sector 2, which isn't too shabby. So we'll see how he gets on in the final sector, although actually saying that, I think his lap time's been invalidated. Yes, it has. So we'll jump on board with another driver. Who else have we got out there, guys?
Racing GP's out on the ultra softs, which is a change for him. He set turtle sector 1, but yeah, just heading to the final sector now. You can see what he said 2 times right. Oh, that's very slow. Never mind. Ignore him. He's doing what he normally does.
Well, we're not going to ignore him because usually his pre-race comments are quite interesting. So you know what, Temp? Do you want to do his pre-race comments, or would you like me to do them for you this week?
Let me have a look.
Yeah, let me have a look before I decide. It's in English, I'll do it. Okay. I said to For a Racing GP, why do you appear to choose to qualify down the order when in the last few races you've managed to get on the podium? Would it not make sense to qualify higher and have a chance to win? Which is a fair question. And he said, first of all, I would like to send my best wishes to Billy Monger, and to show he's in my thoughts, I will be wearing his number on my car, and a tribute to his helmet will be worn. I am looking forward to seeing him back in a race car. If I was to win or get on the podium, it would only mean I have to answer questions from TempFear, and as he's avoiding me on the WC podium chats, I may as well try to respect the mutual understanding. Well, TempFear tries to get his head round that one. Let's have a look at who's leading the way at the moment. I'm going to leave you pondering on that one.
Get rid of me last season.
Okay, SBL Mali Kekech, he is on pole at the moment, 141.5, super soft tyre. Let's see, Rickster, I think he went for a second flying lap, you know, although he's, let's see. If he did, it's been invalidated again, so that's unfortunate for Rickster. Hindle, he's out there. He's already put a lap time in on the super soft tyre. Currently sitting in second place. Temp, would you like to let us know what Hindle had to say today?
Let me find him. Where is he? There he is. So, after his poor result, as we'll put it last week, bringing balance, as you may or may not mention, I'm sure I was doing that. And the question, after your last event where you didn't finish, have you got it all over and will it affect this race? And it was quite short, just one sentence. Yes, no point dwelling on it, just got to move on. But I think it may have affected him a bit more than what he was revealing. Yeah,
I think you could be right there. I'm just watching Caribbean Crush at the moment. He's in a Ferrari. He's reserving for Jason. He's on the super soft tyre. Red tyres on a red car. Looks good. Sector 1 time 28.8. That, if I remember rightly, is pretty good. We'll see how he gets on through the rest of the lap. No, he's backed out of it, by the sounds of it. I'll quickly mention his pre-race comments though, because it's an interesting one for Caribbean Crush. I said to him, having seen a few drivers picked ahead of you for permanent seats, the frustration of that could be expected. What can you do here to show that you were the guy other teams should have picked? And he said, quite simply, yes, I have been quite annoyed, but I'm here to show what I can do. I mean, it's a question for you two, Temp and Arazor. If you were Caribbean Crush, how would you be feeling? You've been a reserve driver for quite some time. But unfortunately, when permanent seats have been available, it's almost as if everybody's ignoring you.
I'll let Tony go first. You set that up.
Well, then you have to make you more noticeable. Like you have to try to put fast laps, finish the races, maybe win the races. That would help also, and keep trying, and eventually someone will pick you.
Yeah, I mean, go on.
It's the other driver in the team that picks. So it's not us, yes, that feel to. It's other drivers. And I think if it depends what other drivers want. Are they going to want a guy that's really, really quick, or a guy that's maybe not so quick but consistent, and not picking up penalties, for example, understanding F1 rules and whatnot. It's just what someone wants. And
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of factors to it, and I mean, one of the things as well is the driver that's in the team that gets to pick who joins him. They kind of need to know that they can get on with the other person. I'm not saying that people don't get on with Caribbean Crush. I'm just saying sometimes people may go, well, this guy's a little slower, but I get on with him a bit better. We could work a bit better. Kane Iando, watched him for 3/4 of a lap. He's just going to put himself in 5th place with what appears to be not too shabby a lap. Rickster, he's back out on the ultra soft tyre, and I did spot as well that Konzo, he's out on track on a flying lap, is he? Yeah, heading up to turn 5 now on the ultra soft tyre. And I had quite what I thought was an interesting question for Konzo when I spoke to him earlier today. It was a simple question, really. Championship fight back on? Can you beat the other guy on pace alone here? I then found out that his Facebook's been hacked and he couldn't respond to me, so we've got no pre-race comments from Konzo. But my question still applies. Has he got the pace to beat the other guy here? And the other guy is Hindle. Guys, what do you think?
Well, I would have quickly had set up, but the guy who hacked Facebook account was like, yes, man. But yeah, I haven't actually seen the standings, and I didn't hear you read out the driving standings from here, but I believe it's very close to the edge. So
it is. There's 13 points between Hindle and Konzo, so Konzo's 13 behind.
Yeah, so the first and second corner puts him 6 points behind if he wins, which he doesn't need to send to Japan, he was point ahead, it's nothing. Yeah. So he doesn't have to beat his teammate, but if he wants to make his life easier at the end, give himself the best opportunity, then he needs to.
Oh, well, interestingly, I thought he was going to be on for a potential provisional pole position lap here, but he's just abandoned it and headed into the pits.
His middle sector actually wasn't that good.
Okay, that might be why he's opted not to complete the lap then. So, Hindle sitting in 4th at the moment, Konzo down in 13th. Let's see, Yuzi, he's just started a flying lap. So I'm going to put the camera on Yuzi. Just wondering, Tony, Temp, who have you got your eyes on?
I was watching Malik Eget's current pole position guy, and well, he's going back to pits, I think so.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, maybe it's different driver then.
Well, let's see, Yuzi. So go on, Temp.
I was going to quickly say, you was on about Roder in a Simo yesterday, qualifying on Supersofts. I think that's what the Mercedes are planning, because Hindle's out on a set of Supersofts, and Konzo's only been out on Ultrasofts, so he's got a set of Supersofts unless he's gone softer on the tyres.
Quite possibly. Well, Yuzi's first sector is a 29.1, not quite a purple, even though he's on the purple tyres. And Yuzi in as a reserve driver today, and I asked him as a reserve driver how you approaching this event, a difficult street circuit, And he said, "Oh, depends where I qualify. I would really like to start on softs for this one and just mix it up from last week from the reserves race, but he's on the ultra softs right now. So I'm approaching this just like the last attack. I know there are a few fast guys in this one, and I will be happy to bring back a point if I can." So we'll see how Hughes is going to get on for the race. I mean, 38.9 sector 2, goes about 3-4 tenths off what pole position was at the moment, and crosses the line, puts himself in 10th place. So let's see, Garfield, he's out on ultra softs. Oh, RDB just clipped the barrier at the third to last corner there. 17th place at the moment, about to finish the lap, and up to 13th place he goes.
I saw a quick sneak peek of the comment you asked them, the question you asked them. So you mentioned the wall there, it's a bit ironic.
Yes. Okay, Konzo, he's back out on the soft compound tyre. Cal, go on.
Sorry, not for weaving his tyres close to the wall.
Sorry, it wasn't soft compound tyre on Konzo, super soft tyre on Konzo. Calzo, he's on super softs, he's on an outlap at the moment. Farfba, he's on an outlap. Farfba's someone that I do want to touch on a little bit. So let's see, of the leading cars, let's see, Valdemar, he's just got back into the pits. Caribbean Crush
in a fast lap.
Okay, let's get on board with Hindle then. Let's see, we'll follow him for this particular lap. But I did say I want to mention Farfba's pre-race comments, and I do, so I'll do it while we're watching Hindle. He's got a car ahead of him, weaving, trying to get temperature in their tyres. It is Farfba, but he may be about to hold up Hindle, who's on his one and potentially only qualifying lap. So we will mention about Farfba because it could be relevant. Let me find the comments. I need to find the comments quickly because Hindle's not far from the end of the lap. Okay, Farfba. I said, a Driver of the Day award narrowly passed you by last time out. And I said, if you give a funny pre-race comment today, you'll get Driver of the Day. And he said, narrowly missed out on it, I deserved it. Who's the Simon Cowell in this panel? Keep an eye on the Force Indias, we might end up crashing into the wall together, as Hindle's only 6th place. Let's get on board with Farfba now. No. Well, he did get held up, so now we're on board with Farfba. Yeah, so he said, keep an eye on the Force Indias. We might end up crashing into the wall together, and you should give me Driver of the Day because of last week. The conversation continued a little bit, which my co-commentators don't know about. The conversation continued, which said, Cowell said you got a penalty, so you can't have it unless you pull your jeans up around your chin. He said, I got a penalty, but as stated, I left him some room. Still deserve it, even with that pen. I'm putting a formal complaint in. To which I responded, show us the jeans then. He said, I'm too fat to even get them over my belly. At which point I said, yeah, I'm saying nothing because mine don't even fit anymore. So, Farfba, go on, Tony, what have you got for us?
We have an interesting situation. Gonzo is his first flying lap. Or he has been already, but he hasn't set the time, and this is his last. He doesn't have time for other one, so if he cuts the corner here, he's gonna start on last place, and that's big disappointment for Mercedes. So let's see.
I'm tracking out your sentence. Speaking of Konzo, I was on board and started his lap, and he went wide as he started his lap, so he may have had 30 to lift. We also have Calzo and the rest of the GP also on laps, so super soft tyres. So there's 3 or 4 guys out there. We have both the Renaults out on ultra soft as well, so
okay.
Up in the area.
Well, in 30 seconds, we're going to get kicked from the commentary box. So I'm just going to, kicked from the pit lane. So I'll just quickly show the order as it stands at the moment, because it's going to potentially change a lot as Konzo comes towards the stadium section. It's usually called the Bridge of Death in front row racing, or the Bridge of Doom, because it's where we have in the past seen plenty of cars crashing. But for Konzo, as Arazor said, this is a massively important lap. He's not going to get another one in. 28.8 sector 1, not too shabby. 38.5 sector 2, also not too shabby. Is it second row of the grid? It is. It's 3rd place.
And I think he beat the clock already, but he backed off of that. So.
Okay, SBL Mali Kekech, he's out there on a flying lap on ultra soft tyres at the moment. Let's see, it looks at the moment like we're going to have Calzo and Konzo, brothers, in opposite teams on the second row of the grid. But I'm just wondering, guys, whether Hindle's out there and going to be able to do anything about another lap.
No. Hindle is now out there.
Okay.
It would have been his third or fourth lap on those tyres if he was, so it wouldn't have put him in good stuff for the race.
Yeah, it would have done. Okay, so at the end of this qualifying session, I will do question of the day, but I'm interested to see whether Mali Kekec is going to improve on his lap or not, and whether anybody else is going to be able to take that pole position off of him. So as Mali Kekec comes through Sector 2, and the drivers knowing that there's going to be no wet weather for this race, or is there? We've seen it this season where it said nothing about rain and then it's rained, so they can go into the race with a bit of confidence that it's going to be dry as Mali Kekec goes into the final corners with plenty of confidence. DRS wide open, stays pole position.
Caribbean put himself in second. Once Valdemar going into the final two corners now, he's currently in third. So can he beat Caribbean? Can he beat his teammates? Sideways for that, quite surprising. Only gone second. So Renault front row lockout as it is at the moment, and that's qualifying over, is it?
It looks like it might be. I tried to get on board with Valdemar there. Unfortunately, I couldn't. Calzo and from Racing GP, they're on slow in laps. Conzo, I think he is on an in lap now as well. Yes, he is. So that will be qualifying over. So a Renault lockout. And apologies for not catching both of both of their guys' laps, but because to be honest, I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting a bit of a Hindle Conzo battle for pole.
Yeah, I'm surprised Hindle. I'm surprised one of them hasn't done something different.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. Get on board with. Apologies for the flickering at the moment, viewers. Not a lot we can do about that. I'm going to go on to Valdemar and SPL Mali Kekec's pre-race comments. With Valdemar, I said, since becoming a permanent driver, luck has not been on your side, or is it that the competition is so much greater in the World Series compared to the World Series reserves? Also, how is your sister? I don't mean that as a chat-up line. His sister was taken to hospital a couple of weeks ago. That's why he missed the race. He said, I have been really unlucky. I think that's just it. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Obviously, the World Series is difficult, but I feel I can compete with the big boys, and Singapore is one of my favourite tracks, so it'd be a nice race, and my sister is doing just fine now. Thank you. Okay, so qualifying result then. SPL Mali Kekec took pole, half a second in front of his teammate Valdemar. Caribbean Crush third, Conzo fourth, Calzo fifth, Milstar, good quali for him in sixth, Rickster seventh, Hindle only eighth place. Kane Iander, 9th, Garfield rounds out the top 10, which means From a Racing GP gets the first choice of any tyre he wants. Lefty Hardtail, his rival in the standings, starts in 12th place. And 69 13th, Uzi 14th, Dave the Harp 15th, RDB 16th, and Farfba last in qualifying.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, definitely. He now knows where his rival's going to be on track as well. Okay, quickly mention SPL Mali Kekec's pre-race comments. While during this formation lap, I'm going to jump out of the lobby and come back in. I asked SPL Mali Kekec exactly the same question as I did his teammate. As we have a quick look at potential strategies, one stop is possible here, although it would appear two stop is quicker. So yeah, SPL Mali Kekec asked him exactly the same question, and he said it is obviously much greater in the World Series, and yes, I agree the luck wasn't on my side, but I must confess I didn't really get used to the World Series in previous races. I didn't put in as much practice before the races, only like 10 laps in time trial, so if I don't lag out today or something similar happens to me, I promise I'll be on the podium. PS, if I'm on the podium, I'm doing a Kimi impression. So, Mali Kekec, confident of a podium. We've seen the Renault guys lock out the front row of the grid previously, haven't we, guys? But we have seen them have bad luck in the races.
I think it's more the races they've done it, they have qualified on the softest tyre, the quality tyre as it would be, whereas the favourite tyre would be the option, if you're going to go quality option prime. So yeah, they've been on worse off strategies. But here, it's not a much difference between the two tyres. We are in the wrong formation. I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm too used to that. But yeah, it's starting on the ultra soft doesn't hurt you around here like other tracks.
True. That is true. Okay, I'm going to try and get question of the day in before we start the race, and Hindle has confirmed on YouTube, says I was blocked on my hot lap. Question of the day. I've not mentioned it at all yet, and it's a little bit sort of real F1 related, kind of about Fernando Alonso again, racing at Indianapolis. Now, question of the day I'm going for is, how many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis? So if you think you want to have a guess at the answer of that one on, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to post your answer in the comments at FRR with your guess of the answer, and Tony will keep an eye out on that, and I'll see what Temp and Tony's answers might be on that one. So yeah, how many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis?
I'm trying to think now. I know it finished. This is hard. This single question, is this in Formula One or not?
I'm saying nothing. I'm going to leave you to ponder over that one. Okay, so the Renaults, they are locking out the front row of the grid. Farfba, he's starting right at the back of the grid. And we'll try and mention perhaps throughout the race any of the drivers' pre-race comments that we have missed so far. But this is potentially going to be, well, it could be mayhem, it could be carnage. I mean, for Conzo, it's fantastic. His teammates a few positions behind him. He's got his brother next to him, but in a different team. But Conzo and Calzo have had a coming together before. What are we going to see from the drivers lower down? Yeah, they did. I think it was... I can't remember what track it was, but I'm pretty sure they had a bit of a... Spa. I think they had a bit of a coming together at Spa. I could be wrong. But
that
yeah,
was Conzo and GP, not wrong, Baron.
Oh no, yeah, it was a different race. I'm sure I think there was a race that they had a bit of a coming together. But anyway, we'll just spice it up for everybody. So as the drivers then are lining up on the grid, see Lefty Hardtail sitting in 12th place. The last few drivers taking their places. I'll try and get on board with Valdemar, who's sitting in second place. 3 lights on, 4 lights on, 5 lights on. It's time to go racing around Singapore. And away they go. Plenty of tyre smoke. Can hardly see the cars. It's a good start from the Renault boys. Is Valdemar up the inside? He is. Conzo tries to sneak up the inside and actually collects the back of him. That's cost him a position, I believe. Yes, because Conzo snuck around the outside. And now... I think Rickster is sneaking up the inside as well into turn 5, and Conzo's down to 6th place. His teammate Hindle, how's Hindle getting on? He's down to 9th place from 8th as the drivers now make their way up towards turn 7. It can get frantic here. The Williams of Kenai Ander having a look up the inside of Millstar into turn 7, but they managed to get through there quite nicely. So SPL Malikekech leading the way. Rickster, he must have just crashed because his race is over. He was right by Conzo as well.
He didn't crash, but we did see him halfway down lap as well. It just looked like he was in the wall, so he didn't get terminal damage as it'd be. I think he was just tired.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It could be out of sheer frustration, and he did appear to have a good start as well. I've just seen, let's see, that's Lefty Hardtail from a Racing GP has stayed ahead of Lefty Hardtail, and Yuzi, in the other manner, he's ahead of from a Racing GP. Caribbean Crush, though, he's sitting in 3rd place with the lead in 3 cars, all on ultra soft tyres. And let's see, Calzo. I think Calzo's the first driver on the super softs. Yes, he is.
Yeah, the first person on the softs is Yuzi. 4 drivers started on those softs. Yuzi from Racing GP into 4 cylinders.
Well, let's see, Millstar right behind Conzo at the moment. Looks like he's, I was going to say, looks like he's ready to pounce, but actually he's coming under pressure from Kenai Ander as the drivers begin lap 2. Tony, I'm just wondering what you've got your eyes on the track at the moment. Anything catching your attention?
Not really. I was checking everyone's front wings and they are intact, so no parts lost in the first lap.
Okay, I think Conzo's about to make a move. He's attacking Calzo. He's not attacking Calzo. He's thinking better of it. It's a long, long race here in Singapore. And the story of the day so far, 2 laps in, is the Mercedes cars being out of position in qualifying and in the race, and they're kind of in interesting sandwiches at the moment.
Yeah, Hindle's, say, still in 8th, hasn't really made much progress. I'm surprised but not surprised. I would have expected him to make maybe at least 1 or 2 at the start.
Well,
he doesn't seem to be hounding the back of the car in front, although that car has just made a bit of a mistake, but that's pulled away actually saying that. He's not all over the back of the gearbox again, yeah.
Just having a look at Lefty Hardtail make a move on from Racing GP up to turn 14 around the outside. Here he goes. GP's gone for the soft compound tyre, which is the hardest compound tyre when all of the tyres are potentially a soft compound tyre. You thought it was confusing in Monza, it's even worse here. Valdemar's coming under pressure.
Under the bridge. Oh, a bit of contact maybe, I'm not sure there. K&N looks to be lagging a little bit on our screen anyway. He's trying to fight back though, trying to get the inside into the final 2 corners.
Hindle may get hung out to dry.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And the other Williams, is that Garfield?
I think it's Kane Iander that appears to have a lot of lag there, which is going to put Hindle off a lot. We don't want the... Yeah, that's right, Hindle. Get well away from the back of that Williams, because the last thing you want to do is see that car flick backwards into your front end. Take the pain of being a little slower and avoiding him rather than having your front end ripped off.
We have Calso and Conoso battling for 4th place.
Yeah, Valdemar also still under pressure from Caribbean. Crush just ahead of them. This is an interesting situation though with Calzo and Conzo. I mean, they're brothers, but they're in different teams, and Calzo, he's not going to want to move out of the way for his brother. He's already said he's here to show everybody what he can do. But I can imagine Conzo being sat there shouting, "Let me by! Let me through!" But yeah.
I can know, just imagine Calzo sitting there, nose can hear his bang, 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 bang on the island.
Okay, Tony, you were about to say something just then. What do you got for us?
I guess that they are not in the same chat party because of that reason. So... Yeah.
Yeah, they won't be. I would have guessed they won't be in the same chat party with. Yeah, I mean, being in different teams, they're going to have different strategies, different needs from the race. So Conzo, I mean, if you're Calzo as well, it's a case of look, if you think you're quick enough, come and overtake me. Let's see, Millstar, 6th place. He's running well at the moment on the ultra soft tyre. Although the ultra soft tyre, it's not going to last a long time in this race. Let's see, Yuzi is catching up to the back of Hindle as he makes his way through turn 1 from a Racing GP, coming under a bit of pressure from Lefty Hardtail. Lefty Hardtail on the super soft tyre, so for GP at the moment, if he can keep Lefty Hardtail behind him, by the time it comes to Lefty needing to pit, which should be before GP, he's on for a good result from that one. Dave the Harp not too far behind either, and I think Farfba, he's gained a few places, up to 13th for him now.
The gap between Hindle and his teammate is already 6 seconds.
Wow, that could grow a lot.
Yeah, I mean the car in front of Hindle's on ultra softs as well. Kano is on super softs, but Garfield is on ultra softs. So if he starts backing up, then same with Millstar, he's on ultra softs. So this could really, really hurt Hindle here.
It definitely could. I mean, anyone that's on the ultra soft tyres, RDB, his race is over. Unfortunately, if one of you guys could check why that
terminal damage.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I'm just waiting for Garfield to start.
Yeah. I was gonna mention something. That was it. The ultra soft tyre. For those drivers that qualified on the ultra soft tyre with 1 flying lap on them, could probably get to about lap 10 in the race. But I mean, from talking to Stocky yesterday, I think he pushed his tyres to the limit in that opening stint. The super soft tyres, they'll do about 17 laps after having done a qualifying run, and the soft compound tyres from brand new could do about 25 laps. So 1 stops are doable, but if you're on the ultra soft tyre,
making a move into turn 1 potentially. No, he's got better of it, but him and Lefty Hardtail being right behind Foot Racing GP. So he may be a bit of a train, but I think he may be catching the car ahead, which is usual.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with Farfbird catching up to the back of Lefty Hardtail as well, it's given Front Racer GP a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a breather, and he's got 3 cars behind him that are all potentially going to be within DRS very, very soon. 2 are already. They're going to be right on the back of him as quick as they can be. Up at the front now, I've got to say, I mean, we're not looking much at SBO Mali Kekech, but he's opening himself up a nice little lead at the moment.
I don't really look to those two at the front playing that. They just seem to be getting on with their business by that. So. Oil Middle Station.
Well, here's a thought for you, Temp. I mean, I'm looking at sort of Caribbean Crushing in the background, Conzo behind Calzo. Are the DRS zones the only place that drivers can overtake around here?
I wouldn't say they're the only place. I think we've around here with the ultra soft especially anyway, there's the time difference between the 3 compounds is, you know, at least a second. So the amount of extra grip you can have, especially when you come out on fresh tyres, it means that it's not going to be an easy overtake, but you can set yourself up into DRS straight, like rapid 4 into turn 7, 8, even 9.
I'm going to have to cut you off a second. Hindle's having a look at the back of Kane Ianda. I think he's still stuck. Millstar, his race is over. He was in 6th place. I'm wondering, has he found his end to the race at turn 5? We saw Brake and Clays and GT5 King both come a cropper there yesterday. Although GT5 King's race, his ended rather harshly from what I've heard. Hindle, though, does get past Kane Ianda. He's going to need to try and defend that off so that Kane can't come back at him. He's having a look up the inside, but no, that's Hindle through. Let's see if Hindle can start making some moves towards the front end of the grid.
Let's see how far ahead his team is now. So Hindle's 13.5.
I'm seeing debris at an interesting part of the circuit in the Singapore Sling. I'm wondering if that's where Rickster had an accident earlier on, or whether that is perhaps where Millstar's just had a problem. Sorry, hang on a second. Caribbean Crush, he's right on the back of the Renault of Valdemar at the moment. If you can get him slightly out of shape, you may be able to have a look somewhere, but heading up to the Bridge of Doom, yeah, you don't want to be overtaking there. It'll never end well, but these guys are now starting to get caught up by the super soft tyre runners of Calzo and Conzo. So the ultra soft tyres are now starting to go off at all. Caribbean Crush, very twitchy. He's going for the move here. He's going for the move. Valdemar's already defensive. Caribbean Crush, DRS wide open. He's got to have a look up the inside. He is having a look up the inside, but he hasn't got the straight line speed. Maybe he'll be able to attack down towards turn 7, and already Calzo is on the back of these guys. I don't know if they're going to be within DRS range because the cars ahead are side by side towards turn 5. Switch back on the cards. Up the inside, Caribbean Crush goes. Has he got the pace? He's got DRS, that'll help, and he is ahead. He's now going to have to potentially defend. And in the background,
well.
Yep.
Round the outside. Let's top the head. It's gone up the inside for turn 7.
Still side by side. Calzo's got the inside line. Conzo towards the wall. Yeah, you know there's going to be words about that one afterwards, and I tell you what, but in the background again, Garfield, he's battling now with Hindle, or should I say Hindle is battling with Garfield. Super soft versus ultra soft. The ultra softs are going off now, guys.
Yep. I'm just trying to see if you can hear the bang from on the
Well, I'm just wondering whether Conzo's just taken a little bit of a step back and thought, you know what, we're catching these guys ahead. I'll let Calzo go and attack them and slow them down, and I'll pick them off when I can.
I don't know. It's because the thing is around here is when there's 4 cars like this, all that last car, you're losing so much time. But it's a hard one. It's
Valdemar.
Renaults and Fitz.
Yep. ultra soft tyre, deciding it's time to pit for him, and the undercut could work quite nicely for him as well, given the positioning of those three cars around him. Hindle up the inside, Garfield covers him off. Let's see, Yuzi and Lefty Hardtail are now sitting in 7th and 8th. From a Racing GP 9th, David Hart 10th, Farfba just behind them as well. And how far back is Valdemar going to come out? It's going to be down in 13th place, and it's the soft compound tyre. Is he going to try and go to the end?
They are horrible. Like, right now, these tyres are fire. They are fine and beautiful for a lot of laps, but once you start hitting towards 20, anyone on fresh tyres is just going to absolutely move you right off. So
yeah, I want to know when Arazor's going to start doing a rain dance.
I think that's is already lost. There's no hope.
No. It's never impossible.
There's always hope in Singapore.
And there is always the next race.
That's one out there.
Well, you're right there, though, Arazor. There is always the next race, and the next race in the World Series is at Malaysia. Right,
nice one.
Yeah, nice, it is a nice one.
Hindle's got ahead of Garfield, just to let you know.
Okay. I'm just keeping an eye on Caribbean Crush at the moment. He's definitely under a lot of pressure, and I'm wondering, I mean, Tony, does he pit now? Should it? Renault in the pits.
Caribbean Crush pits now, yeah.
Yep. And for Calzo and Conzo, perfectly timed, really, because that now puts Calzo into the lead of this race, and he's potentially going, what? Could go another 15 laps.
And in all this,
sorry, not another.
Catched up a little bit for the leaders.
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Just want to apologise. Not another 15 laps for Calzo. Could go to lap 15.
I'm going to say hot tyres 15 can go. Yellow ones, soft ones, they are harder, they're soft. So, but this will be interesting. His brother may actually want to, Conzo being his brother, may actually want to get past him now, put a clean air, those tyres out and pull away, get a gap. Yeah, I can't see Calzo letting him through though. Hindle's 6.3 seconds behind Calzo at the moment. So where did SBL Malikekech come out on track? He's come out right behind Dave the Harp in traffic, but Valdemar has managed to jump Caribbean Crush. What's that gap between Valdemar and Caribbean Crush? It's big. It's big. Ooh. It's a nice little battle from fourth downwards. Lefty Hardtail. Oh, contact at the hairpin. GP and Uzi. That's a little bit of a, I'd say, a late move, but they managed to get away with it.
Well, like I said, these guys, it's like Malikekech has managed to get ahead of Dave the Harp. Yes, he has. So these guys are now going to be coming under attack from the race leaders, effectively. But these guys on the yellow mark tyre, they are potentially going for another 10, 11, 15, maybe 15 laps.
Just to note, Malikekech has gone to the super softs, so he will be doing another pit stop.
Yeah, so Malikekech confirmed then two-stop strategy. He's having a look up the inside into the final corner. GP gives him room, runs massively wide from it.
Don't know where he's going, different track.
Well, I'd have been tempted to turn in for the corner on that one because I think Malikekech was a little too far behind. I've just seen somebody, it looked like, having a little bit of an off in the background there, I could be wrong. But yeah, I would have been tempted to not give Malikekech much room there because, yeah, perhaps coming from a bit far back. But Malikekech now on the back of Yuzi, making a move straight away, and Malikekech wasting no time in getting through this traffic. He'll hope that his teammate can do exactly the same as well. Let's see, Valdemar, he's on the back of Dave the Harp now. If you guys could keep an eye on Calzo Conzo, let me know if anything's happening there or either of them heading to the pits at any point.
I'm watching those and I almost fell asleep right now. There's nothing happening.
Are you saying that Calzo and Conzo are boring?
I think they are just driving with each other, not against each other. I don't know, but it doesn't look like they're battling right now.
Well, it's
you know what you want to do? Think of the conversation. Well, think of what Konzo wants to say to his brother right now. Get up the bloody...
Well, the thing is, I was going to say, it's an interesting dynamic up at the front there with Calzo and Konzo. Calzo got nothing to lose. Konzo, there's half a chance of fighting for the championship. He's got a lot to lose, so he can't afford to go and stick the front end where it shouldn't belong. So for Konzo, maybe it's just a case of, I'll just follow you till I'm ready to pit and hope that I stay ahead of my teammate.
Speaking of his teammate, he didn't really close the gap down much last lap, and he hasn't so far, but so here as well.
Valdemar, sorry, cut you off. Valdemar having a look up the inside into turn 1. May not have left a lot of room for the Ferrari of Dave the Harp there, but Valdemar did manage to get through on brand new soft compound tyres, and Dave the Harp now letting his reserve driver teammate Caribbean Crush through. Caribbean Crush has closed up the gap to Valdemar now, which is very useful for Caribbean Crush. Mali Kekec has managed to get himself ahead of Lefty Hardtail. Next car ahead of Mali Kekec is Hindle. Gap between those two, 11 seconds. So when Hindle pits, he's coming out into all this traffic. So Calzo,
you don't want around here.
no, that's true. Calzo, Konzo, as Tony said, yeah, just driving around Singapore at the moment, checking out the sights, taking a few pictures along the way maybe. I mean, looking at how close Konzo is sitting behind his non-teammate brother would suggest to me that Konzo's got more than enough tyre life and more than enough pace in that car that if he was to get ahead, he's nearly clipped the barrier. So I'll stop saying what I was going to say there in case he does hit the barrier.
Well, he has dropped off, I'd say, from that now, mate, because not his confidence. You can pick up a slight bit of damage from that without anything actually falling off, so that could hurt him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I want to sort of level pace these two. I feel like if Konzo got it, I feel like Cal could just sit behind him.
Yeah, but if they have the same pace and Calzo doesn't hold the Konzo back, there is no point overtaking. Like if Konzo can't go any faster with him being in front, so why overtake and risk it all now?
That's the thing. I mean, if Konzo's in a position, I mean, would you say that Calzo's in a position to potentially win this race? Just bear with me a moment. Caribbean Crush trying to make a move on from a Racing GP. Caribbean Crush got DRS wide open now as they run down the first of the DRS zones that begins on the lap. Into turn 7, super soft tyre, nicely through under braking. GP trying to fight it back, but I don't think there's much to fight for there really, given the difference of compound of tyre. Valdemar, he's on the back of Yuzi, so I have to keep an eye on that for the moment. But yeah, is Calzo in a situation to win this race right now?
He is.
In that case, Konzo's in a situation to win this race right now. Konzo can't afford to miss out on an opportunity to A, win the race, and B, gain points on his teammate, as Valdemar making a move on Yuzi. Is it? Yes, it is Yuzi, heading down towards turn 14. Nice move from him. Let's see how Mali Kekec is doing. 14 seconds off the leader, 8 seconds behind Hindle. He's catching Hindle quite nicely.
Something we don't normally mention, I haven't mentioned much this season, ETL warnings from the game.
Right, yes.
Have a quick look. The six driver is going to have to be careful this early on. We're already picking up a few. I'm not going to name names as of yet, but you might be surprised actually.
Fair enough. Konzo, he's close to his brother, but he doesn't seem to have the straight line speed, you know. And I've never actually mentioned Calzo's pre-race comments, which I'll try and do now. So I was talking to Calzo a little earlier on. I said, your first race at Singapore in front row racing, how tough will it be? And I also asked, if it rained, would that be a good thing to help slow down the other drivers? He said, it was quite interesting, he said, I don't know what tyres or strategy to go for. It's close between the 1 and the 2 stop. I don't think rain would help much because I haven't practiced in it, and Singapore is not a track I enjoy too much. I'm too busy looking to see if I will clip the walls. I'm not confident. Well, he might not be confident, but he is currently leading the race at the moment. He's still got a pit stop to do, though. And it was actually Calzo that told me about Conzo not being able to reply to the driver's pre-race comments, and he said, I don't know how you'd be able to get them. I said, don't worry, Conzo can tell us when he's on the podium. To which Calzo said, don't count on that. He is. So that's an undercut then, surely.
I don't know if you guys still have on my screen. He almost lost it coming into the pits.
Looked fine on my screen.
Look fine on my screen. Yeah, it's just you. Okay, SBL Mali Kekec is going to be ahead of Conzo quite comfortably. Lefty hardtail though, he's got Valdemar right behind him, and Conzo is on his way down the pit lane exit. There he is. He's going to come out behind these cars.
Oh, beautiful.
But what about Calzo now? Because he doesn't have his brother driving behind him, so he doesn't have a car to match with the speed. So does he go faster or slower?
I guess we'll find out. Valdemar making a move on lefty hardtail, DRS assisted. Lefty hardtail, yeah, you're getting none of his slipstream, that's for sure. But Valdemar makes the move, and that is Caribbean Crush right behind lefty hardtail now as well. So let's see. So Conzo came out ahead of Yuzi and from a Racing GP, who I don't think have made their pit stops yet from the soft compound tyre, unless they have, which is why they're perhaps a bit further back from lefty hardtail at the moment.
Do Calzo or Humble put this lap, or do they try and stretch it out, let Conor get a bit of an undercut, but then have pressure tyres at the end?
Well, it's an interesting one. I mean, if we look at the World Championship race from last night, Calzo pits.
Yeah, I was going to say though, with Conzo coming out into that traffic, it essentially could be worth them staying out.
It could have been, yeah. It definitely could have been. Hindle into the pits. Mali Kekec then retakes the lead of this race. And Hindle going to the soft compound tyre. Calzo, what tyres is he gone for?
Softs.
It is the softs. Thank you, Tony.
Softs,
now,
and I've just seen Conzo go around the outside of lefty hardtail before the final 2 corners as well.
Unfortunately, I missed that move, but I tell you what, we have got a bit of a gap between Conzo and Calzo, so that little bit of traffic for Conzo has cost him any potential chance of an undercut there.
So, guys, what about now? Who is the best position to win the race? Because okay, Mali Kekec is leading, but I think he needs to beat one more time, and other guys doesn't because they're on the softs. So
well, I've got a bit of a theory about Mali Kekec. What you might want to do is have a look at how many laps he did on his first stint, see how many laps, if he matches it, he can do on his second stint, and how many laps he'll have left. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to ultra soft tyres at the end.
Wouldn't surprise me. Be the best probably strategy from there. But one thing I found around here is that soft tyre is just such a nice race tyre. It's good pace and it lasts for a while. Whereas I think doing a Kenyanas who are retired, take internal damage, but yeah, doing 2 ultra softs and soft, I would potentially favour that over 2 ultra softs and a super soft.
Yeah, quite possibly. I'm just having a quick look at the battle between Valdemar and Caribbean Crush. Because, I mean, these guys...
Racing GP just got deep. He was side by side with Garfield. Yeah, deep. Didn't hit the wall, fortunately for him. I'm not sure he's made his pit stop yet. I'll check.
Well, Hindle on the soft compound tyres is just ahead of Garfield here. In 8th place with 2 manners ahead of him. I know that Hindle on occasion when he's won races has had it quite comfortable. He said, you know what, it can be a little boring when you're up at the front with no one to race. He's got people to race today, that's for sure, because he's surrounded. Well, let's see.
I've just seen a very bad sign for him as well. Just started lagging.
Oh dear.
Don't
Okay.
mean to curse him, but
I'm going to try and refocus again on this Valdemar Caribbean Crush battle at the moment, because Calzo's catching up to us. He'll have to shout at me.
For a move, sorry, on Uzi, just quickly. Pretty simple DRS move into turn 6. Yeah, sorry about that, Dave.
That's all right. So
I I have information that Gonzo would have minor damage, and they are considering whether to pit or not, but I don't see any damage on his front wing, so I don't know if this just propaganda or
a tactical
not, so.
ploy. Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, if you were going to pit again, so let's.
He's fell off the back of Calzo, so I would say yeah, so he's at least had an incident.
I mean,
I
you
know
did.
you don't always see the damage.
That is true. I mean, I have been told that you can damage the front wing and it doesn't look like anything has fallen off it, but you can get a bit of damage on them. But I mean, it's one of those. If you could pit and put a brand new set of ultra soft tyres on, it might be worth it. But I mean, looking at the World Championship race, I mean, Temp, your teammate Stocky yesterday, he did a long stint on the soft compound tyre. Mr. Hamilton 44 pitted. In the race, put a brand new set of ultra soft tyres on and was 4 to 5 seconds a lap faster. So if you were in Conzo's situation, would you be thinking about that? Would you be thinking, well, if I can put a set of ultras on, I'll be 5 seconds a lap faster, so even if I lose 20 seconds, it's only going to take 4 laps and I've caught up?
It's more about what traffic you've gone into. Because looking at this, you come out into quite a bit of traffic. And the thing is, Cowles has pitted a lot later into the race, like lap 14 that he pitted. Whereas, like last night, stuff he pitted end of lap 8 or 9, was it? So, he was going 20 plus laps, whereas Cowles doesn't have to do that. And it is when you start getting towards 20 and 1 those stops where they are really, really bad. So, it's the option's still there. Like I say, the time difference between the tyres is insane around here, so it just depends on what sort of traffic you come out into.
Oh, I'm watching the battle between Lefty Hardtail, Uzi and Garfield at the moment. Let's see, Lefty Hardtail's on super softs, Uzi's on softs, Garfield, difficult to tell from here what tyres he's on, super softs. Making a move on Uzi there as well, yeah, ahead he goes and covering any re-attack off. I think From Racing GP has also made a pit stop. Yes, he has. He's now on the soft compound tyre, just ahead of Dave the Harp, and just behind, or a little way behind Farfba, who's now on the ultra soft tyre.
Conzo's going into the pits.
Conzo's pitted.
Oh, and he's overshot. Ooh. He's done the right thing. He's carrying on for another lap, and he's almost saying that took out his teammate.
I managed to catch sort of half of that there, and in a second let's see, yeah, Garfield's not under attack. So Conzo, he's just gone to go for the pit lane, and then he's not gone for the pit lane. So any chance you can explain to us what happened and why he did what he did?
Well, I think front wing damage went a bit there and braking a bit too late. So he's gone over the white line after overshooting. He did actually consider going back into the pits, and he then realised the rule. So in FRR, we have a rule that one of your front tyres has to be within the white line when you're entering the pits. So if you've got both of them out, you've got to carry on for another lap, otherwise it's a legal pit entry. So, like I say, he's done the right thing there, otherwise he'd have got a 20-second time penalty if someone reported it, I think it is.
It's something like that, yeah.
So yeah, he's going to lose out, but so losing 5-10 seconds is better than 20.
Yeah, definitely.
But this has just changed that championship massively, though,
Oh,
because he's now behind his teammate.
well, it has, but if he goes and bolts on, I mean, let's see, what are we, 12, 13 laps from the end? If he can bolt on a set of ultra soft tyres and get to the end, he could come back into it. Problem is, he's going to have Garfield, Yuzi, from a Racing GP, Dave the Harp, and potentially Lefty Hardtail to fight. Lefty Hardtail's recently pitted.
Yeah, he has for Ultrasofts. He did 18 laps with Super Softs, so that was a nice run for him.
It definitely was.
So he's going back in, a lot more cautious this time.
So Konzo then into the pits to get his front wing repaired if it is front wing damage. And it's a set of the super soft tyres. He'll be able to punish them quite a lot.
Doesn't surprise me. I was going to say 15 laps short, so all softs. I'd say he's pushing it. But like I say, with him having to do that pairing to carry on, it was going from him pitting from being in front of his teammate and being behind his teammate and then doing pit stop, which is Mercedes haven't seen one good form here. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's going to be interesting how this last 10 laps of the race goes. Okay, let's have a look at Calzo. He's on the back now of this battle for second place. He's on the soft compound tyre, and he's caught up to Caribbean Crush, who's on the super soft tyre. Temp, can you have a look at Caribbean Crush and see whether he's done ultra soft, super soft, hasn't he? So I think Caribbean Crush has got a pit again.
When did he pit? He pitted end of lap 8. So yeah, he's been on those tyres for, well, this is his 12th lap now.
Here's some information for you. SBL Mali Kekec, he's into the pits to get rid of his super soft tyres. Is he going for the ultra soft tyre? RDB, his race came to an end earlier on. Farfba's race has just come to an end. But SBL Mali Kekec, is he going to be the ultra soft tyre, or is he going to be the soft compound tyre?
Super softs.
He's got a problem. Oh no, actually, yeah, because he started on ultra soft, so he's all right. Super soft tyre. Yeah, he'll go to the end on those. For a moment, then I thought he'd ran super softs and was going to get disqualified, but no, he's all right.
He got 3 sets of the super softs. He's come out right behind. Well, not right behind him, behind him, but he should close onto that pretty quickly. We could have a very different podium tonight, boys.
We definitely could. Calzo is catching up again to Caribbean Crush. He's having a look, but I don't think Calzo needs to rush here, you know. He's already caught up these guys. He knows that he's quicker already. What he needs to keep an eye on is the gap between himself and Mali Kekec. And Mali Kekec is behind Hindle, so yeah, be interesting to see how that one plays out.
He kind of needs to focus on the car in the lead and not on the front second right now, because Caribbean will inevitably get out of his way at some point. I mean, as much as I like it this lap, it may definitely be the next 2 or 3 laps I think Caribbean will pit, so he's got to focus on Valkyrie, who potentially could go to the end.
I'm just going to cut you off for a second as Konzo making a move on from a Racing GP up to turn 7. Is he going to go deep, or can he get that stopped? He can get that stopped. Quite nicely done there. And still side by side though around turn 8. But no, Konzo manages to get that move done. Lefty Hardtail in the background, fighting a little bit with Dave the Harp, and Lefty Hardtail's on the ultra soft tyre, so let's expect him to start catching up to from a Racing GP as well. Yuzi, he's not too far behind on the super soft tyre, but yeah, I don't think that this race is far from decided, let's put it that way.
There's a handful that can win it still. Like I say, I'm going to have a quick look at those the race director and see what they're saying, so I'll keep quiet about who's got what.
Yeah, okay, Calzo may be close enough to attack again, but I'm just curious. Tony's sitting there kind of quietly and almost mischievously.
Mali Kekec is behind of Mercedes, trying to overtake.
Okay.
It's Hindu.
And
he's made overtake. I think he's passing.
Okay. I will jump on board with that now. So yeah, he has made the move. I'll just keep an eye on whether Calzo was going to be able to make a move or not. But I think that will have annoyed Hindle, that being passed by SBL Mali Kekec there. The question, there's many questions from today's race. I mean, is Hindle going to pit again, or is he just going to life it out on these tyres? We know in the past he's not been in favour of taking tyres long, has he?
Yeah,
but I think, but Mali Kekec did his pit stop, so he would not pit again, I think. So if Hindle pits, then it's game over for him.
So the question there would be, if he pits, well, that's the thing. If Hindle pits, is he going to be ahead or behind of his teammate? Because Hindle can afford to not win a race. What he can't really afford is to let his teammate beat him.
This is this is going to play on their minds. This is quite a lot.
Calzo ever so close to the back of Caribbean Crush again. He may have a run here, you know, but the problem he's got is that Caribbean Crush, and there's Mali Kekec in the background and posting the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, problem that Calzo's got is that Caribbean Crush has got DRS every lap. So where Calzo wants to attack, the other guy's got good straight line speed.
I'll tell you what though, Calzo, he's got some experience of being this first behind drivers. All this season he's been...
This is it. He's got a chance. Caribbean Crush though defends it quite nicely. Switchback, not on. Oh, he has. That's going to create a side-by-side situation. That's compromised Caribbean Crush. Calzo takes full advantage of it, sneaks through, lovely move. Now he needs to pounce on the back of Valdemar straight away, because Caribbean Crush is not going to be happy about that. He'll be getting the pineapples out and everything. Splash of vodka, dash of rum, take it in one and just see what happens.
Look who's in for action, hand over fist.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is an interesting situation as well. SPL Mali Kekec, there he is, on the back of this train of cars. And Mali Kekec doesn't have to pit again. I think Caribbean Crush will.
GP and Lefty Hartel battling. There's contact. They're side by side.
Oh!
And GP's in the wall.
He is. Looks like he may still have his front wing intact, but Lefty Hardtails on the ultra soft tyre is going to have much better grip in those tyres. Looking up at the...
She's on the back of this train. He took 2 seconds out of the middle sector alone.
Okay, Tony, keep an eye on that battle for us. I'm just going to keep an eye on these leaders. Caribbean Crush into the pits. Temp, keep an eye on what tyres he goes for, please. Calzo, you need to try and get a shift on if you can, or at least don't let Valdemar... Well, if Valdemar pits, it's not a problem. Ooh, nearly tags the back of him. If Valdemar pits, I think Calzo will be fine, because Calzo could go to the end, I reckon.
It's a red car, and it's got the nice, lovely purple tyres that don't match with it.
Oh, so Caribbean Crush then. He's gone ultra soft, super soft, ultra soft. I like it. Aggressive. Calzo making the move around the outside. Valdemar defending the inside. Turn 7. Side by side they go. A little touch of wheels. Here comes Mali Kekec. Is he going to try and overtake the both of them? No. His teammate lets him through.
Where's Hindle? Oh, it's cool. Hindle's a lot further. There's Kanzo in the blue shoe. Kanzo's really far behind his team now. A lot further.
Lefty Hartel got through GP, but now UC is right behind him.
Okay, so GP coming under a lot of pressure then. Let's see. I did see that Mali Kekec was getting quite feisty up at the front with Calzo. I was going to quickly jump back on board with them as they make their way towards turn 14, see if he goes for a little bit of an exercise lunge down into 14. No, he doesn't. So let's see if Yuzi can get past GP. No, he couldn't either. And Garfield's catching up to these guys as well. And it's getting interesting. It's building up to a potential crescendo here in Singapore.
This is an interesting situation for Calzo now. Does he defend this, like his life's on the line? Or does he just let him go?
Oh! What he needs to do is an ETL lift, because that was cut so much, Singapore are selling scissors from it.
Yeah, it's... Does he just take the second place? Right,
3-car battle with GP.
Okay, I'll jump on board with you in a moment. Oh! Yeah, little bit tasty that one. Don't even know how to call that, but Calzo is still ahead. And Mali Kekec looks like he's still got his front wing intact. I'm going to jump on board. He's going for the move on the inside. No, he's not going to be able to get it done. Okay, let's have a look. You said 3 wide, Tony. Was that Yuzi, lefty hardtail?
Yeah, and GP was the losing part of that and lost 2 positions.
Okay, and David Harp still there in the background. He's still fighting for points there. Temp, you mentioned a moment ago, what does Calzo do? Personally, what I think he does is whatever gives him the most amount of points. If defending too aggressively, he's going to end up with him in the wall. You don't defend too aggressively.
That sort of contact, though, the Malik actually means sort of contact that can give him damage, but not physical damage for us. So it can be more significant than you think. He just hit the wall again. It's sort of damage you can take him from being a second lap quicker than Calzo to actually slower.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the kind of sort of contact and perhaps damage that could frustrate somebody into making a move where perhaps they shouldn't. I mean, it's not a good idea to drive angry, that's for sure. That's one thing I say quite a lot. I mean, if he stays calm here, he's got a good opportunity either down into turn 1 as Calzo goes defensive, covers it off quite nicely, but he's going to have to defend into turn 7, I believe.
6.
7 at the end of the DRS straight. Side by side up towards turn 5. Going for a little bit of a switchback. There we go. DRS wide open. Calzo makes a move to the right.
He's got some good stroke this being Calzo has.
Oh, and Malikekech up the inside. Cheeky little move, and Calzo very sideways. Now's the time to go. Okay, I'll take second place.
That was close. I was on board with Malikekech there. Oh, he didn't smash into the back, but I'll never know.
And while all that was kicking off, Valdemar, he's dropped off the back of the leading 2, and he's now got Hindle all over his gearbox with 6 laps to go. Hindle's in a very good position. Not talked much about Konzo since his second pit stop. How's he getting on?
Empty track. Driving by himself.
And how far off the lead is he at the moment, Tony?
31 seconds.
Oh, so he's basically lost out 25 seconds to his teammate, which you could say, yeah, that's from the pit stop, but he must have other problems, as TempFear mentioned, because on the super soft tyre he should be lapping quicker than Hindle at the moment and catching him up. And Hindle now with a bit of traffic. Go on, Tony.
And Konso and Malikekech has pitted same amount of times, and they are still like half a minute apart each other. So something had happened to Konso then.
Okay.
Because they were in the same pace before all the things happened.
I'm just going to keep an eye on Valdemar here. Hindle is all over the back of him. And Caribbean Crush, we saw him pit a little while ago, and he's gone back to the ultra soft tyre, if I remember rightly. Hindle got an opportunity here, but he's had to tuck back in for the slipstream though. Is he going to get the benefit of the extra speed? He's going to have to go all the way around the outside as the Renault driver sends him that way. Almost contact, runs a little wide. There'll need to be a little lift there, but he's got the inside line for the next corner. That's Hindle up to third place at the moment, but is Caribbean Crush catching up on the ultra soft tyre? 20 seconds off the lead, or 19 and a half, which puts him about 14 seconds, I believe, off the back of Valdemar. Make it 13 seconds off the back of Valdemar. And if he's got decent pace, that gap could come down rapidly.
You know what? I didn't expect to be seeing Hindle in third place this race.
No, I didn't. Not even 5 laps ago did I expect to see Hindle in third place, but that's the way racing goes sometimes. Malikekech, he's leading the way as he heads into the Bridge of Doom, opening up a nice little gap to Calzo now. Important thing for Malikekech is keep it on the tarmac, keep it away from those barriers, get it to the end of the race. For Calzo,
Valdemar's got a rear right button from my screen, but he's still going very, very quick.
ooh. If you've got it on your screen, it usually means it's going to happen very soon. As K&I I think his session came to an end a little earlier on. Yes, it did. But he's decided to pack his helmet into his helmet bag and take it off for a little walk down to the nearest pub and drown his sorrows there. So Valdemar may have a puncture coming on his car soon. 9.4 seconds behind the lead. Caribbean Crush still 19.5 seconds behind the lead, so 10 seconds between Caribbean Crush and Valdemar. See, Konzo 31 seconds back in 6th place. I've got a feeling he may be driving round at the moment a frustrated driver. Lefty Hardtail in 7th place, 15 seconds behind Konzo. But for Lefty Hardtail, his main aim is to beat Front Row Racing GP. See Garfield in 8th place, ultra soft tyres, and he has a little bit of a gap. He can see the manor ahead, and he can see the manor behind, and the manor behind can also see the McLaren behind him of Front Row Racing GP, who is sitting in 10th place. Oh, Yuzi just hit the barrier. Maybe he was looking in his mirrors a little bit too much there. Either though, he's got tyre problems. He's very slow at the moment, very, very slow at the moment. Oh, he's lagged. He's got lag. That'd be why. Because his car's just disappeared off of the road. So, GP rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Dave the Harp not too far away. And someone we haven't mentioned at all since the start of the race. But he'll be happy anyway. Ant69, there's no Jason on the track for him to get near to be on the camera. That's why he's not been on the camera. But Ant69's aim, I believe, was just to get to the end of the race. Temp, if you want to go through Ant69's pre-race comments while we've got a moment.
Will do. We need to get two places off getting points. 2 more drivers crash out. Might find himself getting a nice cheeky point there. At 69, where are you on the list of comments there? Good old Dave says.
Valdemar out of pits.
Yeah.
Valdemar pitted. Sorry, Valdemar has pitted and come out in 6th place.
We may have thought that's shouldn't earlier there. We've lost out a lot of laps now on a qualifier.
Maybe. Tony, if you could keep an eye on the gaps between him and the car ahead of him, as TempFear mentions Ant69's pre-race comments. Ant69's actually gained a place because Yuzi has pitted.
So we asked him, Iron Man once said, I have a plan, attack, are you Iron Man today? He said, balance tyres, swap change strategy mid-race if needed. I want us to learn and lead a safe competitive track, so keep it clean, hopefully, and let the garbage then take out the garbage, so to speak. I'll fight anyone on here.
Okay.
Yes, Gonzo, I think he had a slightly early Christmas because Valdemar pitted in front of him, so he's now in 5th place, but Valdemar is in ultra softs and is catching fast. So let's see if Gonzo can keep his 5th place.
Well, the gap's what, 4 seconds? And there's 2.5 laps to go. Oh, I think Gonzo's going to be making some quack noises in about half a lap's time.
But if Gonzo can keep that place, those are valuable points for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'd be absolutely crucial points for him. I mean, in some ways, well, Caribbean Crush is too far off the back of Hindle to put any pressure on Hindle. And I think Valdemar's too far away as well. Although Valdemar's on brand spanking new tyres. If Valdemar is 5-6 seconds a lap quicker, it might be better off letting him go and see if he can catch Hindle and cost him some points. But Hindle's a long way down the road at the moment.
I was going to say, unless Valdemar starts setting 1 minute 30s, he won't be catching Hindle.
Well, Mali Kekec not far away from completing lap 29. And it could be said that his strategy has been absolutely spot on here. Qualify on pole and go for the fastest tyres he could on each of his stops that would get him to the end. So around the final couple of corners he's going to come to make it 2 laps left for him. And not far to go for him to have a brilliant race day.
Yeah, Valdemar is a driver to watch now because he catched like 2 seconds in half of the lap, and now he's right back of Gonzo. So Gonzo needs to do everything he got to keep him back, but I don't think that's enough. Valdemar is fast with those tires.
Yep, he is. I mean, that's the thing at the start of the race. While the cars are heavy with fuel, there's not a massive difference in the lap times. But once the tyres begin to wear, the fuel comes off, the ultra softs are just so much faster. Valdemar got a little bit sideways there though. And while we wait for him to make his move, and quickly mention the question of the day again, because I've not mentioned it since the start of the race, and I don't think my co-commentators actually attempted an answer on that one. And for the viewers, if you want to have a go at guessing the answer on this, feel free to do so. So, question of the day is, how many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis? With Fernando Alonso obviously taking part in an Indy race soon, I thought that was quite an interesting question. So, Valdemar, he's close. Conzo, he's making his car as wide as he can. But TempFear and Arazor, do you want to have a guess at the amount of completed race? Oh, wait. Valdemar up the inside into the hairpin. Conzo gave him the room to do it. And Conzo down to 6th place.
Where about that for a racing GP is just side by side with Uzi now into turn 8. Oh, we've been squeezed into a wall. It's going to have flashbacks to last season, but he's managed to get through now on the inside of turn 9.
So GP up to 9th place and trying to fend off Uzi into the Singapore Sling, and Dave the Harp is trying to get in on some of this action as well. And Dave the Harp said in the reserves race last week that he's not looking forward to racing around Singapore. I think he just hit the barrier. He may have got away with it though. He was not looking forward to racing around Singapore at all. Doesn't like this place. But he's got half a chance of scoring a point here. Uzi doesn't go for the move. So they're going to hold position for a little while. Let's see, is Caribbean Crush, has he caught up to Hindle at all? 22 seconds off the lead. No, he's 8 seconds away. I don't think he can do anything about Hindle on this final lap of the race. So, closest battles now. Lefty Hardtail, 7th. Garfield, 8th. They're not too far apart. A DRS, 1 second between them, and then it's a bit of a big gap to from a racing GP, Uzi and Dave the Harp. So guys, keep an eye on those two battles for us please, because I'm going to have to go and check where SBL Mali Kekech is. He's just heading into the final sector now on the last lap of the race. So quick flick back to Uzi. Is he making any kind of moves? Or he's going to...
just going on to DRS straight now.
So it's going to be close. I may even miss Mali Kekech going over the line. Is Uzi going to make a move? Is Dave the Arp going to make a move? No, they're not. Right, keep an eye on those battles. Cheers, Tony. Thank you very much. So Mali Kekech then, he's coming around the corner to take provisional victory here at Singapore. An absolutely fantastic race from him, and his first win in the Front Row Racing World Series. Calzo.
These three are so close. He was going around the outside into the Singapore Sling. Oh, he's made contact with the wall.
And I can't get on board yet. Calzo took 2nd, Hindle 3rd. So back to this battle then. GP is 9th. Did Uzi get ahead? No, Uzi, he's dropped down. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's check where Lefty Hardtail and Garfield. Oh my God, they're so close. And Garfield having a look up the inside. Both these drivers on ultra soft tyres. Lefty Hardtail manages to stay ahead as they approach the Bridge of Doom. They survive the turn in. Can they survive the exit? It's so close. They're almost sharing rear wings and front wings. Oh, Garfield, a beautiful switch. A beautiful switch. Boy, perhaps force Lefty a bit towards the wall. Can Lefty do anything about it? Up the inside, around the final corner, he's trying. But no, he can't do anything about it. Let's see if we can get on board with those last 3 cars then. GP crosses the line. Dave the Arp right behind him. And it says that GP's 10th there, so I'm guessing a few time penalties coming into play. Uzi, 11th place, crossing the line now. And is that Ant 69? So Ant 69 was not far behind him at all. Guys,
he
could just
overtook him.
Oh, guys, could you just take a picture of the result for us, please? Top and bottom half, because it's showing me the real drivers' names, unfortunately. So a bit of a time penalty for Calzo then, but Hindle was far enough behind that it didn't affect him. Caribbean Crush managed to hold on to the 4th place, Valdemar 5th. Conzo 6th place, won't be happy about that. Let's see. So Lefty Hardtail kept 7th because Garfield had a time penalty, so they stayed 7th and 8th even though Garfield got ahead. Dave the Heart benefits from GP's time penalty, so that's a 9th place. Oh, it was a 10-second penalty for GP as well. Yeah, he won't be happy about that. Let's see, and 69, he gets the 11th place because Yuzi had time penalties. Wow.
That's going to be going over everyone's footage and recording to get a point.
He could well be. Okay, while we wait for the podium drivers to come and join us, and if anyone has any questions for the podium sitters, feel free to put your questions on the YouTube chat. I'm going to quickly try and fire through the drivers' pre-race comments that we didn't get to, if I can do it without choking myself. So bear with me a moment.
I'll share them with you if you want, if it's too hard for you.
I might get you to do a couple in a moment. Okay, so let's see. Garfield, he managed to finish the race, and I said to him beforehand, you have had a chance to see what the competition is like in the World Series now. Did it surprise you? And obviously this is before today's race. And he said, hi, good afternoon guys. My first race didn't really go to plan as I'm still trying to be a fair racer. So when I outbraked myself, I let everyone past at Monza, and as I came back onto the track, which lost me lost him 12 places. Said, I still got a good finish for a debut, but could have been a lot higher on the grid, possibly a podium. Onwards and upwards, and I'll try and help my teammates in the constructors by finishing higher in tonight's race. Well, he finished in 8th place, so can't really argue too much about that one. His teammate Kane Iander unfortunately didn't get to the end of the race, and I asked him, how do you think you can do? This is a tough track on car, driver and to overtake on. How can you make it easier? And he said, to be honest, tonight is an interesting one. I'll be looking on pressuring people into mistakes, and if I end up battling, then so be it. I think that's the most important way to approach fighting around Singapore. Since the last race, I've been practicing a lot and have found an ex-FRR driver who is helping me a lot with my consistency, lines, strategies, etc. The rest of this season is more about preparing myself for next season. Hopefully between now and then, I'll prove to a lot of people that I'm a top 5 driver and deserve to be in FRR. Dave the Harp, he was very eager with his pre-race comments today because he sent them to me before I could actually ask him a question. So goals for the race for him, tough track, but we'll just keep going and try to get to the end. Not sure how good my setup is, but feels okay to drive. Let's see. RDB. Well, unfortunately, RDB crashed out a little earlier on. And I said to RDB, yeah, I said to RDB, I said, Walls have had a close-up view of the Hey-Ho car this season. What can be done to make sure the Walls stay well away from the car today? And he said, good evening. I will be taking the harder compounds to Singapore and about 50 front wings. And if I run out, I'll do a Vettel and take my teammates' wings. I hope to finish the race firstly and hopefully have some good wheel-to-wheel racing along the way. The walls are like magnets at times and I'll be very surprised if I manage to keep it out of the walls. Good luck to all the teams and drivers. And unfortunately, I think it was a wall that brought the end to his race. The podium drivers, I believe, have joined us and we'll get to them in just a moment. Let's see, Millstar, I asked him, I said to him, drivers either love or hate this track. Which side of the Marmite equation are you on? And he said, I love it round here. This is where I picked up my first FRR win back in the FRRI days. And I have quite a good track record here, especially in the rain. Oh, and I hate Marmite. Despise the fact it exists. And I think he may also change his view on Singapore as well, because unfortunately for Millstar, the race didn't go so kindly for him. Lefty Hardtail asked him, third place in the driver's standings is a possibility. What's more important, a good result or simply beating the guys ahead of you? He said, let's see, I'll probably go for balanced tyres around here and see how the wear goes, because in the race, as you know, punctures have been a problem for me on 2016. As for third in the standings, only time will tell. I do like the rest of the races to come, so hopefully should do well. My target at the minute, though, has to be from Row Racing GP, as we are close in the driver's standings. And he managed to finish ahead of him today. And I think that
turn the page there.
I did, yes, I did. The last half a line was on a different page. Okay, so on to the podium interviews then. I believe the podium sitters are with us, yes, guys?
I believe so.
Okay, on to SBL Mali Kekec then. Provisional first place for him. First in Front Row Racing's World Series. I've only got one question for you, SBL Mali Kekec, and I'll hand over to my co-commentators. And the question is, how happy are you about that one?
Really happy. Yeah.
Well, you sound it. So I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators. So, Tony, Temp, ask away.
Go on, Tony, I'll let you go first, since Dave's left us some questions for once.
Yeah, was that the bit lonely race? You led the race quite a while, drive alone, then you pitted, then you had to battle some, but in the end you had a lonely race. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, now away from Kimi, I'm just quickly gonna give a shout out to my teammate. He's a really nice guy, you know, for holding up the other guys a little bit. And to the question, not really a lonely race. Still had quite a bit of battle. Still had to work. If it was a lonely race, I would like to dominate, and that would be a lonely race for me, in my opinion.
Well, going into qualifying, or as a result of qualifying, we saw you on pole with your teammate getting a front row knockout for you guys. So you obviously like in qualifying, but we've seen you this season. You a lot of the reason I'd say you've got the front row as a team. You've both gone on the quality tires, it be the softest compound, whereas other drivers have gone on to like the medium, like the middle of the three compounds as it would be. And it's kind of like cost you in terms of strategy for the last few races. Here it's not so bad because it's not as big as a deficit, but I would like to see you try and say in the next race, if the favourite tyres are mediums, would you consider trying to qualify in those and see where you could be? Because you've obviously got the pace, so surely you should be able to, you know, do what Calzo, Hindle, Conto and some of the others do.
Yeah, I do have the pace in quali, but I just don't like to qualify on the solo tires, you know. I just like to show what I can actually do in quali and what my pace really is. So that's why I'm qualifying on the softest compound. But either way, this is my first season. I'm not fighting for the championship, so I can risk with a different strategy.
That's true. Would you prefer being more aggressive on the strategy then, rather than quite conservative?
Yeah, I never knew what conservative is, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Well, I'll tell you what. Go on, Tony.
Did you do the Kimi impression yet?
Well, yeah.
Hey, with Dave's question, he didn't really answer it. He just said, yeah. Or wonder, whatever it was.
What? That's about all you get. I was going to say, Mali Kekec, you said in your pre-race comments that you said, I promise I'll be on the podium. Well, your promise came good. Next race, Malaysia, are you going to make the same promise?
No, I'm going to promise you I'm going to win that.
Oh.
You listening, no, Calzo?
Yeah. Challenge has been set. Okay, don't go anywhere yet, Mali Kekec. We will come back to you shortly. We're going to move on to our second place sitter, Calzo. Second place, 2 races in a row. And you know what? It's an interesting qualifying session lining up next to your non-teammate brother. Comes with its own risks, some of them physical potentially. But you got a good start. You managed to get ahead, and for quite a large portion of the race, it looked like you would have a chance of winning the race. My question to you, though, is that first stint when you had that really aggressive driver Konzo up your gearbox for 12, 14 laps, did that cost you any time that may have benefited you at the end of the race?
A little bit, but not a lot. Defending and going defensive in corners maybe, but they're about equal in race pace.
You said in your pre-race comments here, feeling any different?
Well, yeah, because I finished second, but I didn't.
Well, you didn't. Especially in your first sort of season on it. So, I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators to see what questions they've got for.
Yes.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. I will go.
I'll have you
They were so close to my question, so I will ask. And Caruso, did you actually battle with your brother there? It didn't look like it. It did look just like you were driving with him and driving as fast as possible without battling. So was there a battle going on?
At the first few laps, he was trying to get around me, but then I think he sussed out that I was getting a better run off the DRS straight, the corner beforehand. He was still trying, but he couldn't get the run on me. He did get alongside me once and almost got past me, but I got on the outside of him.
Okay. Now then.
Going on towards the end of the race, was you surprised at how early, how many laps left towards the end, that SBR Majkovic actually caught up to the back of you? Did you think it maybe would have been a bit tighter towards the end, where maybe the last 4 or 5 laps he would have been a back of you rather than the last 10?
I thought he'd be a lot tighter towards the end, but his teammate held me up a treat. I was sitting in a train for many laps. I had it in lean, so I was saving fuel. I thought, yeah, that's good. But I'm getting hit up like a second a lap.
You got deceived.
Well, no matter how annoyed you got at that, Caribbean Crush was in that train for a hell of a lot longer. He was stuck behind Valdemar for pretty much all of the race. So, yeah. I mean, did that cost you the win? More than anything else, being stuck in that little battle?
Yeah, just sitting behind, but I was so frustrated that Valdemar couldn't break DRS off my kick. He was so close on one lap, but he just messed up the corner before the DRS straight and he got it back again. I couldn't even get near him. I got near him, but I didn't go for a move, so I'm too risky. I thought I'd risk the win.
Oh well, got the experience for next time, eh?
That is true. Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll come back to you shortly as we move on to, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, our surprise third place sitter, Hindle. Don't take offence at that, but after qualifying and after the first stint of the race, we're thinking, well, he's out of this one. And here you are on a podium. So a bit of a shock. But also, I mean, I mentioned it during commentary, that there's been races that you've won and it's been a little bit of a procession for you and it's been difficult to keep the concentration. No dull moments in this one, I don't think.
Not one from qualifying to the last lot.
Well, we saw what happened in qualifying. And I mean, we touched on it there. I mean, how much time did it cost you on that lap?
Well, I was about 2.5, 3 temps up, and that would have put me around Callum and Connor, and then I dropped down to about 2 temps down, so I just had to abandon it. Well, I didn't abandon it, I still went across the line, but yeah, I wasn't particularly impressed, and I started tumbling down the order, and I thought, this is not happening. This is not happening. So I think, yeah, I ended up in P8, P9, and then from there it was a disaster until the last stint.
Was it a case in that first stint, because obviously you were surrounded by cars, was it a case in that first stint of sort of thinking, right, I'm not going to attack because I could end up out of the race? Was it a case of, I'm just going to be cautious and do what my tyres are capable of?
Well, yeah, straight from when we started, I think I got a decent start, and then somebody braked really, really, really early, and that put me off completely. I thought, right, I'm just going to sit behind everybody and let them do what they've got to do. And I think I don't know who I was behind. I was behind a load of people. I kept it in lean and standard for a few laps, and I thought, right, I'm going to start pushing now. When I did push, I overtook quite a few cars, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, main objective was not crash into anybody and
Yeah.
to keep my front wings, so yeah.
Okay, I've got two more questions, then I'll hand over to me co-commentators. One, we saw you get stuck behind Kane Ianda, who was lagging. He has given an apology on the YouTube chat, saying he didn't know that he was lagging. If he'd have known, he'd have moved out of the way and let you through. But we did see you behind him, sort of just totally ignoring any potential slipstream, which I know we've discussed in commentary before. I mean, it must have been a good 3-4 laps you were stuck behind him, sort of not knowing where his car's going to be.
Yeah, he kept. I thought it was me at first, but it was only his car doing it. So then I thought, right, again, I was just getting a bit of a rhythm, and then that started. So I thought, oh, for God's sake, get out of the way of his slipstream, and he just moving forwards and backwards, left to right, going into walls and all this. I thought, oh, for God's sake. And I think I was about 3 to 4 seconds a lap slower for about 2-3 laps, so that didn't help. But yeah, just tried to stay on the way.
Well, somehow you ended up on the podium. I did say I've got 2 questions. I've got one more. But you know what? I'm not going to ask it in case I steal it from the others. So I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators. And let's go to Arazor first for your questions for Hindle.
Yeah, Hindle, are you happy with the result compared, are you really trying to win these races, or are you trying to win the championship and trying just to beat your teammate?
Well, obviously I come into every race wanting pole and the win, of course. But as soon as Malakekech set a 40 point whatever, 40.2, 40.3, I thought, well, I'll get close to it, but I've never beaten that time, so there would have been no point in me trying to do that. And then starting obviously like P8, and that was a bit of a disaster. And I just thought, right, I'm racing Con, not anyone around me. Keep it together. And then Con had a bit of an incident. That's why he had to pay. He lost part of his front wing, and that basically gave me P3.
All right.
I don't know. Can't beat a 40.2. What times are you boys doing?
I think my best was a 40.5.
Oh, disgraceful.
Well, as I said the other day, I could do a lap a couple of seconds quicker than Stocky. I just would have only have done 99.7% of the lap because I'd have hit the barrier somewhere. So yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Dave. Another input. Anyway, going back to Hindle. We saw your teammate overshoot on the pit lane. I was on board with him, and it looked quite close when he kind of rejoined to the track.
That was very, very scary. I don't think he realised I was like right behind him, because I heard him go, "Oh, I've missed a pit lane." Oh, and then I seen him, and I thought he'd just pull out the way, and he started moving over to the race side. I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" But yeah, he was like, he was a bit like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you." But yeah, it was. I did pee my pants.
I did have another question. What is it? Oh yeah, well, this isn't what I was thinking, but how is your teammate anyway? Is he...
He's frustrated.
Very frustrated. His brother.
He's frustrated, yeah. He thought, obviously, he was stuck behind Cal for a bit, and he decided to not attack him, just pressure him, try and force him into a mistake, but it didn't happen. And then he pitted, come out in traffic, lost his front wing, had to pit again. There you go. And then he got overtook on like the last lap as well. So
yeah. And I've remembered my other question. How many laps did you do in qualifying on those superstars?
2. Because I complete that was the first time in qualifying I bottled my lap and I completely bottled.
I'm gonna say because I'm sure I saw you out earlier on those tyres.
I bottled the first lap big time. That's why I think it was like a 41.8, which is not very good. So I went out again and then I got blocked. So yeah, it is what it is.
Would you ever have thought about you going on the Ultrasofts?
No, I was always under the one stop, and it would have been pretty difficult on the ultra soft.
Yeah, you can still do it on the Ultrasofts.
Yeah, you can. No, you can't do it. You can, but it would have been slow. I mean, look at Voldemort.
You just like to treat your tyres, don't you?
But look at Voldemort. He was really slow the last few laps. So, and I was just fine.
Fair enough.
Yep. Well, anyway, well done, Hindle. I'll say surprise podium sitter. Going to quickly go back to SBL Mali Kekec for a couple of comments, and then we'll go to the YouTube comments. So, Mali Kekec, you've heard Calzo's post-race comments there. You've heard Hindle's post-race comments there. Does that give you confidence going into the later races of the season?
No, I'm always a little bit nervous before the races, so nothing what they say can make me a bit more confident.
Okay.
All I will say is quickly, Hindle's in a championship fight, so he's going to be a bit more tentative, so you can always take advantage of that.
Well, I mean,
I tell you what, I think that statement should be put out to the drivers. Me and Connor are in a championship battle. Don't go blocking us.
No. You see, we talked a little bit about it on the commentary, mainly to do with Konzo. That because he's in a championship fight with you guys are kind of in a situation where you can't really afford to end up in a barrier. Whereas for a lot of the other drivers in there, Mali Kekec included, Calzo included, Caribbean Crush, who looked like he had a good race today, these guys have got nothing to lose. Obviously, they've got to race to the rules, but they ain't got nothing to lose. So, in that situation, what do you and Konzo do?
Well, for me anyway, I see. I obviously you want the drivers to show what they're doing, show what they can do, but sometimes I think they're a bit over exuberant of what they can do, and like doing silly stuff. I mean, I know it's a game and stuff and blah blah blah, but we're in a championship fight. There's only us two in it. There's don't go blocking us on quali laps, making stupid moves, that sort of stuff.
No, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Makes it interesting.
Dive bombing made illegal. Made legal. No, we won't do that. Sorry, back to essence. Does it give you a little bit of extra, I'm going to use the word again, confidence, knowing that if you come up against Konzo, you come up against Hindle, that they're going to be potentially thinking about championship and not you. So there's a good chance of taking wins in these last few races.
So is dive bombing allowed?
No.
Look when you started, no.
Well, then no.
Okay. Right. Okay. Arazor, would you like to fire out some of the YouTube questions to the drivers?
Sure, I will handpick a few of these. First, Mali Kekec from Drew. What happened to your Pink Panther helmet?
Well, I had this new helmet for the guy from Formula 4.
Nice touch that. Not the only driver on the grid to have a helmet dedicated to Billy Monger. You did mention it to me the other day, and unfortunately I did forget about it during the commentary, so apologies for that, but a nice touch from SBL Mali Kekec there, dedicating his helmet to Billy Monger. So if you watch back at any point, go and check out Mali Kekec's helmet.
And then Hindle from GP. How many times did GP move across the roads?
5.
That sounds like a guess of question of the day. That does.
And let's ask Molly Kekech, are you familiar with the Banana Man?
Sorry.
Say that again.
Try say that again, Tony. Sorry.
No. That's enough. You can go back and watch the replay of this broadcast and enjoy that the rest of your night.
Okay, let me let me try and say that properly. SPL Belly Kekech, are you familiar with Banana Man?
No.
No, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, right.
I will crack a beer then. I have enough of this.
The thing is though, Tony, right? The mention of Banana Man is a bit of a special mention to Jason from Project Cars, because in Project Cars he drives a yellow and blue car to do with the Swedish flag. The problem is, I mentioned that it looks touch a bit of a red on there. It could be a bit like Superman. From a Racing JS said, no, he looks more like Banana Man, and sent me a picture, and I was like, wow, yeah, you know what, that's quite funny. His car does look a bit like Banana Man. He's a children's superhero. And I mentioned this to Jason, and if anyone's friends with Jason on Facebook, check out his post, because he did put a link to one of his videos the other day. And I posted a picture of Banana Man, to which Jason responded saying, well, the Swedish version is better. There is actually a Swedish version, not of Banana Man, but of a superhero, and it's kind of like Banana Man on steroids. So if you don't know who Banana Man is, Google it, and then Google the Swedish version. It's quite funny. But yeah, sorry for laughing at you there, Tony. It was just the way you went, Banana Man. So,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And there is no question.
Well, there's a story to everything.
People are wondering why I'm here. There is no questions to Cal. Sorry, you are not so popular. So maybe next time.
I'm sure his brother's got a few.
I was going to say I've got a question for Calzo, and that is right. You're in the World Series now as a permanent driver. On a couple of occasions, you've beaten Konzo, you've beaten Hindle, you've beaten quite a lot of the drivers on the field. Are you a title contender for next season? Do Konzo and Hindle have to worry about you next season?
I've got a really smug face. Yes, I'm going to see it.
Okay, so
I'll tell you. Well, you're not going to worry though, Dave, because he just.
I like that. I don't think anyone did that. Hindle just said, "Right, you're not getting no more setups off me." I like that. Okay, we're going to finish off then with question of the day. So, viewers, if you're watching. Get ready to have your guesses of question of the day. As we know, Fernando Alonso is going to be racing in Indianapolis soon. So question of the day is, how many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis? So, SBL Mali Kekech, would you like to have a guess at the answer of that one?
No, I wouldn't.
You can't do that. You do realise that it's a deduction of 25 points for not having a go at the question of the day.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not in the championship. I'm joking. So you mean in the simulator or what?
How many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis?
100.
100. It's a guess. That's all you have to do. Calzo, what about yourself?
Question: where is Indianapolis?
It's in America. It's in America. That's all I'm telling you.
Mate. Oh.
I'm gonna go for 54.
Oh,
Okay.
Interesting. And Hindle, what about yourself?
What? Did you say how many laps has he led or how many laps has he done?
How many racing laps has Fernando Alonso completed at Indianapolis?
Wait,
How many has he completed? I didn't even know he took part in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
45.
45.
can I just change my
Yeah,
guess?
Mali Kekec is getting into this now. No, you can't. Go on then.
0. I
Me
want
and
to say
Tony
0.
0. Right, okay.
Me and Tony haven't even guessed yet.
So,
Tony.
Tony, what about you?
Me, I would say 310.
And Temp.
Tony's thinking same wavelength I am. I'm going to go 450.
450 or 50?
450.
Okay. So there has been a few guesses on YouTube, I do know. But I can say that nobody's really got close to it, to be honest. But I'll give you some information about it. Okay. Formula One did used to race at the Indianapolis circuit from 2000 to 2007. However, Alonso has never done a racing lap in the Indy 500, but I didn't ask if it was the Indy 500. I only asked for how many racing laps he's completed at Indianapolis. The answer is 234 completed racing laps. A few people kind of got
He
close.
must have retired from a few.
Well, I'll give you the details. 2000, he wasn't racing, so he didn't do any laps then. In 2001, he raced there for Minardi. He completed 36 laps of 73. He didn't race in 2002, and in 2003 he did race and did 44 laps. 2004 he completed 8 laps. 2005 there was no laps because of tyre gate. He was in one of the cars with the tyres that no one wanted to use, so no laps there. In 2006 and 2007 he managed to get to the end of the race. So that's where his laps come from. However, it's also a little bit of a trick question, because the answer should be minus 234. And for everyone that's thinking, what? Well,
They're going the wrong way.
they drove round
They're
the
going the wrong way.
Indianapolis circuit in the wrong direction, so technically he's minus 234 laps. He's got to do 234 laps in the right direction.
Every anti-clockwise track is bloody.
No. There's a difference.
That's clockwise.
There's
Indianapolis,
it's not a case of clockwise and anti-clockwise. The Indianapolis 500 is driven turning left. However, when F1 raced there, right, they went the wrong way around the track. Although they did only
So
use
what
a
was
portion
the
of
right
it.
answer?
The right answer technically is 234, but my version of the right answer is minus 234. So
you're
nobody
just
was anywhere
awkward.
near it. There we go.
Awkward. Like me and Tony are on the same wavelength here. Tony, we
And
win,
on
mate.
that sour grapes note, go on, Tony.
I think Bleeding Sunrise with 280 was the closest one. Congratulations.
He was the closest, although
I got one digit right.
Mali Kekec was the closest from my rules. It was 234 away, but
No, minus doesn't count. No.
anyway,
In reverse.
I'm sure this argument will continue anyway. Well done to our podium sitters for taking the result there. It is obviously a provisional result only. The full result will be posted a week on Saturday. But well done to those guys. Well done to everyone that managed to get to the end of the race. Not an easy one at Singapore. And for those who unfortunately found the barriers to not be their friends today, there's always another race in 2 weeks' time, and that is from Malaysia. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be tomorrow night for a bit of a one-off broadcast from the Front Row Racing Project Cars Fruff Cup, as it's being called, in the GT3 Porsches. We'll be live from about 8 p.m. on that one, so come and join us for that. Hopefully it'll be an interesting race, round 2 of that mini-season that's going on there. You can then join us on Sunday for the DTM League, which will be for round 3. That's turning out to be quite a cracker, as somebody needs to try and beat Dave the Harp. And then next Wednesday and Thursday, it's round 16 of the World Championship reserves and World Series reserves will be live from about 7:25 p.m. and as I said, that'll be from Malaysia. Anyway, thank you very much to my co-commentators for doing a fantastic job again today, even if Temp was eating his dinner at the start, but we'll allow him that one. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm so old, I'm not even listening to him. Sorry, say again?
You still got to eat?
Yes, I haven't had my dinner yet. See? Dedicated, committed. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for watching.
I'm a better commentator.
Ooh,
Right. They come and listen to me.
Kick him out of the chat party. Right. Time to bring this to an end before TempFear's head gets so big he can't get out of the house. Well done to our drivers, and thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and come and join us again for the next round of the World Series in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching. See you later.
And remember to watch the ad videos.
Nice plug.